Hi, in this video we will learn how to generate random numbers, and for angle calculation we will want to generate all the various calculations for sine, cosine, tangent. So we will first start with random number calculations. For that you will go under developer, you will go for Visual Basic. You can create a module under this workbook, right click on it, say insert, go on the module. So we can write under this module everything. So we will first start with sub, calculate random number, open and close brackets, and sub. So you will first declare the various variables, like we want to generate random numbers. So you need a lower bound number and an upper bound number. So you will first generate those. So for that you will write them low as integer or a double if you want, and upper as integer again. Then you will write set rand start. We will assign this to worksheet under which we are working. So we are worksheet, which is figure 14.14 to 14.18. We will copy this. Also, we want rand start to be assigned to this A14, which is random number. We want it to be assigned to that block. So you will write it accordingly. We will write open brackets, or copy this worksheet name, close the brackets, and you will write dot range. We want it to be A14. So you will write A14, enter. After you set the rand start, you can input the lower and upper bound numbers. So you can write low is equal to input box. So for input box, first comes the prompt. So you will write please enter the lower bound of the interval in which you, so there's going to be a long statement, we can write and again continue with the statement in which you would like to generate a random number, colon, and you will give the title as lower bound. And you can give the default value as -10. Enter. Similarly, you can write for upper, up is equal to, you can copy this, here, the same thing here, and paste it down here. Just change this to upper, so be upper bound, and you can make the default as 10. So after you set the input box for low and upper bound numbers, you can then give the formula for a random number to be generated, which is x is equal to upper minus lower plus 1, which is into the random R&D, and you add low to it. So you add low to it, That's the so this function calculates whatever the user enters for the low and upper values. After this, you will write ran start dot offset. This value will be one level below the random number, which was in A14. We want the random number to be generated in A15, so the offset will be 1, 0 since it's one level below. So you will write offset 1, 0 dot value, which is equal to x. Similarly, you will write for the rest. You copy this 5 times, and you can change this since we want this for absolute value or x of x. Then we need it for integer value of x. Then for the square, which will be the absolute. Then we will need it again for the exponential. And finally the log is the absolute. And you can change this to 1, 1. The offset will change for all these 3 and 4 and then 5. Once you're done with this, we can press play and let's see if this works. To write this worksheets, and there you go. You see, please enter the lower bound of the interval in which you would like to generate a random number. So you click -10 is the default value. You say OK, and this is for +10, which is the upper. So you said OK, and you get the values here. Now you can assign this to a button, which is a random number calculation. You can right click on it, say assign macros. You can assign calculation random number and click OK to it. Alright, so for the next sub, we will write for sub calculation of angles. We will set the angle start as we did for rand start. So we will set it similarly. Set angle start is equal to, we can just copy this. Copy this here. And we can change this range to 821 since angle decreases for 821 cell. So we change this to 821 here. Now here we will need an input for decrease. So we will write x is equal to x. We will write enter an angle value in decrease colon comma. We will write the title as angle value, and we will give the default as 45. Close the brackets, enter. So we want this value to be stored in the offset. So we will write angle start dot offset, which is one below. So it will be 1, 0. dot value is equal to x, and similarly we will copy for the rest. But then we want it in radians, so we will use the function x is equal to x into pi upon 180, and then you will enter all the formulae. So once you convert it into radians, you can copy this and copy this 4 times. The offset changes to 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. This will be for x itself, then this is for sine, this is for cosine, and this is for tangent. Since we haven't said what pi is, we can write option explicit, and pi is a constant, so we will write const constant pi is equal to 3.14, and we will also declare what are angle start, rand start, and x. So we will write it under public angle start as range, rand start as range, x as double, can copy this above. For calculate angles, so we will run this, press play. So it works. Enter an angle value in degrees, you say OK, and it calculates all these. Now we can assign this macro to the angle calculation button. Right click, assign macros, calculate angles, click OK. Alright, so next step will be to assign for the clear all button. We will write a macro for that. So we will write sub clear the values generated because of calculate random number and calculate angles. So we will write range and start dot offset, which was from 1 to 0 to rand start dot offset, which was until 1, 5, and close brackets dot clear contents. We would want to assign this to the clear button. Alright, so similarly you write for angle start. Let's see if the clear macro works. So we will click play, and I think it worked. So let's check. Okay, so it's cleared. So we can assign this to the clear macro. Click OK. So now we can try these using the buttons here. So the lower is -10, upper is 10. You get all the values here. For angle calculations, default is 45. You click OK, you get all the values here, and then finally you clear all, and all the values